Welcome back, everybody. Today I'm back with update number 40. This is where I go back to 10 past product reviews in order. Take a look at the original review and let you know if anything has changed since then, because I do try to use these products after my review is posted. This update covers product reviews number 391 through 400, spanning January through March of 2022. So without further delay, let's get right to update number 40. Number 391 was a weird robotic dishwasher. It's been around for a while. I finally got my hands on one, and here's how that went. You've got these two rollers here that will spin, and they basically pull the plate this direction. And here we go. Oh, wow. Oh, it's kind of working. 10 seconds, 10 seconds. Let's see what we got here. I'll be honest, that's far better than I thought it was gonna be. Very clean, look at that, wow. This is a larger plate, let's see what happens. There we go. It's working. It's doing it. Kind of. All right, it's not 100% clean. You missed a little bit on the edge here. I would say it's about 95% clean. Now a bowl is a little bit different. I think you're supposed to kind of go like this. Oh, wow. And then these grab onto it like an alien robot hand. And, oh yeah, look at that, wow. Once again, my expectations have been far exceeded by what this thing can do. This, I'm not too thrilled about. Oh wow, it just grabbed onto it. I think it's stuck. Uh-oh. Oh, we got chaos in here, it's stuck. Oh, there we go, oh yeah, it's like a buffer. It wouldn't work well on non-round plates or non-round bowls or large plates. So it seems like it's really just best for small plates, bowls, and cutlery. It was one of the more bizarre gadgets I've ever tried, and it shockingly worked better than I expected, so I give it credit for that. All right, so this is not one that I use. I never found myself with a sink full of dishes saying, where's my robotic dishwasher? It was very interesting. I thought the engineering was cool on it. It's kind of a conversation piece, but it's not something I found very useful. Number 392 was a collection of microwave bacon cookers. Here is how my original review went. Maybe I'll just kind of leave that one folded over a little bit like that. All right, I think that's it. 6.5 minutes. Oh wow, it's almost overdone. Oh, that's crispy, all right. Maybe too crispy. No, very crispy. Seems to be good width-wise. It doesn't seem to have a problem holding the entire piece. That's good. All right, we got 4 pieces in here. And we're off. All right, I think some people would say this is perfect. Some people say it's not done yet. All right, time for the Makin' Bacon next. Now it has 3 holders. I'm gonna take one out because I'm only gonna do 4 pieces for the first round, so I'll do 2. That's kind of what they're showing, I guess. That's what they're showing. That's what I got. Honestly, I don't see a lot of splatter. I'm happy about that. All right, they're folded over, which I don't think most people care about that. And there is round number 1 for the Makin' Bacon. That's a good in-between. All right, looking at the final results here, we got the Amazon's Choice round 1, 2, and 3. As you can see, it got better over time. Prep Solutions, I got good results both times, and the Makin' Bacon, pretty good results, although there were times on the second round where it was a little bit uneven. Maybe a little bit less cooked in the center than the ends. I thought they all worked pretty well, but if I had to pick one, I would go with the Prep Solutions. So I used the Prep Solutions a few times, but I ended up going back to the Wow Bacon. I thought that was a little bit better microwave bacon cooker. I prefer bacon fried in a pan, so I don't use microwave bacon that often. I do think that the Prep Solutions, though, was the best of this bunch. Number 393 was a comparison of toasters. One was over 300 bucks and one was the #1 bestseller on Amazon. There was no contest in this one. Let's flash back and see how that went. This is the Revolution toaster. I paid $314 for this. I paid $29.9 for this because it's currently the #1 rated toaster on Amazon. All right, so looking at the front of the toaster, it's a very attractive looking toaster here. And it's all just a touch screen. There's no other controls. Start button, be impressed. Oh, it does lower it by itself. It played a nice little chime and raised it very slowly by itself. That's a very nice feature. All right, so let's see what we got here. I mean, I guess it's kind of in the ballpark there of what #1's supposed to look like. What I like about the Elite Gourmet is it has big slots here. I mean, you could really put 2 on each side. But we're just gonna go 1 on each side for right now and see how that goes. On number 1, it really shouldn't be in here very long, so it should be any second now. I can see it's browning in there, but it hasn't popped up yet. And this is on number 1. There it goes. Way too dark for number. This is number 1. Look at this. That should be more like, what, 3 or 4? Oh. All right, I can already tell you it's getting kind of smoky in here at level 2. What is this? This is like level 5. Come on now. Just set the fire alarm off. All right, here are the final results of the toasters. The Revolution toaster, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I didn't do 7 because I had to turn the smoke alarms off for number 6. The Elite Gourmet, anything but Elite, levels 1, 2, and 3. It goes up to 6, but this is already kind of on the burnt side. So clearly the Revolution toaster is the better of the two. Now, as far as the Revolution toaster goes, is it worth 300 bucks? I'm not sure, but the geek factor is so high, it's worthy of place on my counter until I find something better. All right, so I have not done this many times, but after that review, I took the Elite Gourmet toaster and I threw it right in the trash. On the other hand, the Revolution toaster gets used 2 to 3 times a day in my household. The only real drawbacks besides the price I've seen of that one is number 1, the clock isn't very accurate. Usually about once a month I have to set it because it starts falling behind. And number 2, about 1 out of every maybe 20 uses, when you hit the start button, it shuts off completely. Overall, everybody here likes it. It's kind of a cool conversation piece for guests. I'm not sure I would pay 300 bucks for it, but I do like it. For number 394, I wanted to test out 3 different types of seat cushions: gel, foam, and air. I wanted to see if one was better than the others, and here's how my review went. This is the Everlasting Comfort. It's one big solid foam piece. Next up is this gel cushion. It's kind of generic. I don't even think there's a brand on the box. And finally, we have Dr. Air, which is an air-filled seat cushion. I think this is the only air-filled seat cushion on the entire top 100 on Amazon. The foam cushion, there's still a lot of room. You have a lot of room on here. This feels like it's maybe gonna slip a little bit less, so we'll have to see about that. The gel cushion, this is much thinner than the purple. And first impression, it's very hard. And I'm kind of slowly sinking. That's kind of how memory foam is though. You know, when I squeezed it with my hands, it felt like there wasn't much to it, but I guess when you put all that weight on there, distribute it, it's not too bad. All right, so the first thing I noticed is that I kind of sank all the way down to the chair. First impression is that these are all very different. All right, so I got some errands to run today, and I figured I would try all 3 cushions in the car for my first car impression. Let's start off with the foam cushion and see how it goes. At this point, I'm not really sure it's more comfortable than my normal seat is. Now it's time for the air cushion. So the air cushion is kind of interesting. When you first feel it with your hands, it feels like there's hardly any air in there at all. But when you sit on it, it feels much firmer than you would expect. Now it's time for the final first impression in the car, and that's the gel cushion. Let's see how that goes. All right. It's so low, I kind of don't feel like I'm sitting on anything. It just feels like my seat's a little bit softer, which that's kind of nice. In my computer chair or in my car, this was my favorite of the 3, although I don't think it would be nearly as good on a very hard surface. Now, no one here really wanted to use the foam, I guess because it was a little bit on the hard side, but the Dr. Air and the gel cushion got used every day since then, and here's how they look. Now, the Dr. Air, this is the one I've used every day since that review was filmed, and it has almost no air whatsoever left in it. It's basically a piece of material at this point. I liked it, but there's no way to refill that air that I've seen. So at this point, I'm basically sitting on a flat piece of material. One of my kids used the gel cushion and it was recently given back to me because this is starting to form right in the center, so it's not going to last much longer. This is another one that was enjoyed while it lasted, but it really didn't last long enough. Number 395 was the EyeVac, which is a stationary floor vacuum, which really functions more of a dustpan than a vacuum. It's kind of a lot like the ones that hairstylists use. I really enjoyed it, and here's how my review went. So the way it works is you sweep your debris up to here, the sensors pick it up, and it's sucked into that hole right there. See how close I have to get before it kicks in. Oh, there it goes. Oh yeah. That was more than I wanted to put on the floor. Well, so far so good. Oh wow. Whoa, whoa. So it seems like the color of the bristles does matter. Check it out. That was a couple of inches. Now let's try some dark bristles. That's getting closer, much closer. Oh, look at that. Only about 1 inch, so it does need to be a lot closer when it's a dark bristle. Probably not a good idea, but I'm gonna try it anyways. Yeah, that wasn't a good idea. Coffee and dog hair, and a few Ritz crackers, some bread. It's time for lunch. $114 seems steep, but to me, I'm pretty happy with it, and I'm gonna keep using it. I still use mine on a regular basis. Every time I sweep my floors, I use the EyeVac. As I've moved it to different locations, let me show you where it currently resides and how it's held up. I've moved around a few times. I got a new table here, so it's kind of back there for right now. I might move it again. It does get used anytime anybody sweeps up the floors, and I really have no complaints about it. I'd originally worried that maybe using a dark bristled broom would be a problem, but it really hasn't. So I have no problems with it. In fact, I'm quite happy with it. A lot of people have complimented it, and I recommend it all the time. Number 396 was a collection of phone gadgets, the cameraman, the Go Donut, and the mobile phone stents. Let's flash back to the original review and see how that went. All right, first up, let's try out the cameraman, which I bought from Walmart in the Ask on TV section, and see how that went. Oh, it sees me. Now it's going left to right. Let's see. It's kind of slow, but I feel like someone's watching me. What happens if I just stand here? It takes my picture. It's taking my picture. See, I never really knew it was taking my picture. Sometimes it seemed like it was stopping, sometimes it didn't. Oh, look at this one now. Oh man. I'm not sure how it's gonna compare to just the regular iPhone camera. And is it choppy when it's moving? Let's see about that. It seems like it's not really as responsive as it was indoors. Take a closer look at the Go Donut. It just has two cutouts in here, but it looks like each cutout could potentially accommodate two different angles. I've got to say though, man, almost 30 bucks to include shipping for basically a round piece of plastic. So basically one angle on this side, which is pretty steep, and then two angles on this side, which seem to vary from pretty vertical to right in the center, close to 45 degrees. All right, so if I'm standing up, this angle works pretty well for me. Well, that's definitely not gonna work. How about this grill, this nice dirty grill? Now, once again, this one's just gonna be completely useless. So we're gonna have to stick to this side. It's kind of there, but it's still not great. So as I suspected, the problem with the Go Donut is you're limited to your angles, and if you need just the right angle, this may not be it. This one actually has two pieces to it. It has a metal card that comes off with a bunch of different tools on it, and then this is a phone stand. When you put pressure on it that way, like if you're tapping on it, it tends to slide right out of those tabs like that. See that? And look at this. That's not good. Come on now. Man, this thing's batting zero. All right, I gotta give it credit. It actually works. What do you know? Now, as far as the mobile stent goes, I really see no redeeming value to this product whatsoever. All right, so I immediately put the cameraman and the phone stents away. I knew I wasn't gonna use those. I put the Go Donut in my camera bag, hoping I would use it, and I kind of forced myself to use it a few times over the next few months. I would say the inability to precisely aim it was kind of a deal breaker, so really none of these I found to be terribly useful. Number 397 was a collection of kitchen gadgets, from finger guards to a strange whisk. Let's first flash back to the original review and see how that went. Whisk wiper. This is a gadget that fits onto a whisk and wipes it off. The way it works is you slide it over your whisk, you do your whisking, and then you slide it off, and it takes most of the food off to prevent it from going down the drain. Feature number one, you can actually use this to keep the whisk from falling in there. I guess that does work. Feature number two is you can stand like this so everything drips down onto the whisk wiper. But as you can see, it's dripping down onto the whisk wiper. Well, we got that much off that would have gone down the drain or down the counter. That's pretty good. All you really have to do is just turn this handle, and it supposedly peels your apple in seconds. Oh, wow. Oh, it's working. Oh, look at that. Oh, wow. That worked really well. I'm completely shocked. Look at that. And it came off with one beautiful peel. Look at this. Oh, yeah, look at that. Oh yeah, it's even better. All right, let's take a look at this mixer splatter guard here. Oh wow. First thing right off, I can already tell you that I'm very limited in how much motion I can do with this. Even still, I really have a hard time getting to the edge unless I put it at an extreme angle. I guess where the notch is at, I can actually go out to the side. These metal finger guards, they slip over your fingers and allow you to cut or chop food without chopping your fingertips. Somewhere in between a nail salon and Edward Scissorhands. I can't stop fiddling with it because it feels so interesting. Now normally I'm pretty good at avoiding my fingers. I haven't cut my finger yet. I mean, that's pretty tough. I just cut what might have been almost my thumb, but it protected it. I went right against that. But I do think as far as function goes, it functions as it's supposed to, so I do think they should work for most people. I should point out that the mixer splatter guard was probably better for a stand mixer, but I really just tested it based on their photos on Amazon, which is using a hand mixer. Also, the whisk wiper was pointed out to me it'd be easier to put it on this way than to put it on from the top, which makes more sense, and I didn't do it that way. But I did use the whisk wiper quite a bit until I discovered the twist whisk, when I realized that's a whole genre of whisk that I prefer. Here's another whisk in that category, the Dream Farm Mini Flisk. Once I discovered this kind of whisk, it was hard for me to go back, even though this is a very good whisk. So I did get a lot of use out of this one until it was replaced. Number 398 was a collection of drink gadgets. Let's flash back to the original review and see how that went. Oh, there it goes. Boom, that's right. It's not 100% equal, but it's pretty close. Oh, I think I did it. I think I did it. That's pretty even. That is pretty even. I think my techniques seem to actually work. It makes a 2.4-inch diameter dual ice balls. All right, so then the last step was to put it in the insulation sleeve. So I'll put it in the freezer and come back 24 hours and see how it goes. We got one on each side. So as far as roundness goes, it looks nice. So I got some distilled water, I filled up the mold, I put it in the freezer for 24 hours, and here's how the distilled water looked. The distilled water is definitely the way to go. Look at that, like a crystal ball. Now the point of this gadget is it can supposedly turn any cup or mug into a shaker bottle. It feels pretty sturdy. I mean, I don't feel like it doesn't seem like it's slipping off. I'm shaking it in a pretty good shake here. All the orange crud has been dissolved. The application is a little bit awkward. You have to make sure you hold it in place while you're stretching it. You can see the metal ball is kind of breaking up all the orange chunks in there. Or you can even use the handle for like improved shaking technique. No leaks. I've had no leaks. I did 4 cups, no leaks at all. All right, so of these 3, I probably used the ice balls 3 or 4 times after that. The any shaker I tried to use, but I didn't really find it really fit for me. And I'm not really social enough to use the shot glasses, so I didn't get much use out of those either. It was a fun batch of products, but I didn't really keep using any of them long term. Number 399 was a collection of wearable gadgets, some of which were pretty ridiculous, but some of them were also pretty useful. Check it out. This is the Snacktive, but it has these 2 loops here that go over your fingers. It feels pretty dexterous. I mean, I feel like I can grab some out of there. Let me see. I'll sit here, Yeah, speed snacking, not bad. Typing something randomly here. Reach over, grab a chip. As far as like game controller goes, I mean, it seems like it will work there too. It serves as a pillow and also a phone stand. So I'm gonna wrap it around my neck here, and then I can have the phone up here. It seems like it's pretty easy to adjust. You have to kind of finagle it to get the right angle. Once you get in place, it's actually, it looks completely ridiculous. You might get ridiculed by anybody that walks in and sees you with this. It looks kind of like some weird, like an octopus tentacle holding a phone in your face. It's very strange. Not only is it a beanie, it's also a headlight, high, medium, low, and off. And it's got a Bluetooth music player on the side. There's speakers in here as well. It's virtually impossible for me to feel these controls here. I just can't feel them. But right now the bass actually sounds better than I thought it was going to. Pretty good actually. Yeah, you can see I got the wall lit up pretty well. Let me try medium. All right, medium is not a lot dimmer. So these are filled halfway up with a dark liquid, which supposedly gives you sort of a false horizon that supposedly helps minimize motion sickness effects. It's time to put these glasses on, I can already tell. This bumpy road's getting to me. I have my reading glasses on, and I have these. Look how ridiculous that looks. That looks so ridiculous. I get 2 glasses on. Well, I didn't get sick, so that's good. There were some people laughing at me over there. I'm not sure if they're laughing because a man my age was on the merry-go-round or because I was wearing these ridiculous glasses, maybe both. But if you suffer from motion sickness and don't want to deal with pills or patches, this might be another option to explore, as long as you don't mind the way it makes you look. What's funny about that collection is the one that I think is the most ridiculous, probably ended up being the most useful to me, and that's the motion sickness glasses. I put them in my glove box thinking they wouldn't get used a lot, but quite a few times I had to pull them out for people that said they were getting car sick, and they seem to work. They might be cheaply made and look ridiculous, but I do think the motion sickness glasses, in most cases, do work. I've done a lot of egg gadgets over the years, and number 400 was yet another collection of egg gadgets. And this collection includes one of the weirdest gadgets I've ever tried. Check it out. But it's actually a little container for one egg and a salt shaker. This is the PrepWorks Compact Egg Slicer. It's got 3 different types of blades in there. This is a gadget that allows you to cook, store, and serve 6 eggs all in one gadget. You can go from the pot to the fridge to the table, all one unit. Right there we go. Very cute, very cute. Place them in the pot like that. Add some cold water. Turn the burner on and then see what happens. I like that it kind of holds them from floating around too much. What's also nice is you don't have to worry about getting a spoon fumbling around them. They all come out at once. All right, so the hard-boiled eggs, they turn out nice. Got a few of these left over, which I could just put in the fridge. There we go. It's described as a vertical egg grill. We're a couple of minutes in, that's what I'm seeing. It looks kind of gruesome in there, doesn't it? Whoa, it's coming out of there. There it is, there it is, oh. Wow. I gotta try again with 2 eggs. I wanna see it rise out of there. It only rose halfway, then stopped. Egg number 1. Oh, here it comes, look at this. Whoa, oh, here we go, here we go. Oh, it's coming out of there. Oh, look at that. That is beautiful, look at that. It's gonna hang to the left. It's gonna hang to the left. Oh, it's very floppy too. All right, I might have to help it out here. Blip. Work of art, isn't it? I'm not sure I'm gonna keep using it, but I will say that it was worth the wait. Egg slicer, and you got 3 different options. Right down the center. Hiya. Pretty quick, pretty easy. Hiya. All right, well, yeah, it worked. It worked. And boom. Perfect. Stick an egg in there and just close it up. All right, it's time for the field test of the snack container. I'm in my car, kind of a random spot here. And boy, that was difficult. All right, salt shaker does work. Not exactly high tech, so I would hope it would work. All right, it's a pretty simple gadget and it doesn't really do a lot, but what it is supposed to do, it does do. Perhaps not surprisingly, none of these products I use on a regular basis, although I do occasionally pull the rollie out to show people because it's such a weird product. I tend to think most egg gadgets are not particularly useful, but I do love trying them out. All right, so that's all I've got for this update video. I would say of this batch, the ones I use the most are the Revolution Toaster and the EyeVac. The worst of the bunch are clearly the Elite Gourmet Toaster and the mobile phone stands. But that's all I've got. I'll be back in about another month with my next update video. Appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.